So guys, I'm going to be talking about intermittent fasting, and this is something that I'm currently practicing, something I'm currently doing, and I am not an expert of any kind. Let me just make that disclaimer right now that I'm not an expert. I'm just simply, taking routines and simple ways to live, and little things that I do that make or rather fulfill my life and the way that I live my life. So I'm just simply sharing the knowledge for you to take the knowledge and actually apply it in your life. So I appreciate that you are tuned in once again to the $1 Million Routines. And this is day one of big things to come. What are the different windows that you can actually use? Now, simply said that the 16-hour window is when you are actually not consuming anything but water, hydrating the body, and you could be actually having coffee or plain coffee, plain tea, whatever you prefer. And in the 8-hour window, you're actually consuming foods, and preferably foods that will actually be beneficial in this period that you're actually doing the fasting. So when do you fast? Now there's different windows that you can choose for yourself. So there's the 10 to 6 p.m. So that's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's 8 hours that you're actually consuming food. And from 6 p.m. until 10 a.m. the next day is when you're actually fasting. And there is the 11-7 window, which I'm personally doing. So from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. is actually when you start eating. So I use the 11-7 window because of the fact that I can incorporate breakfast. Now, as wonderful as this concept might seem, it may not be for everyone. So I advise you to actually seek the professional advice before you can actually go into intermittent fasting. Now, I know people who may have come from hospital, people who may have experienced health ailments, people who may be going through certain things. This may not be for you. So I advise you to actually take the professional advice to actually, find out if you can go ahead with intermittent fasting. So what are some of the benefits of 16/8 intermittent fasting? Now, some people may, use this for weight loss. Some people may see it as a way to actually improve mental clarity. Some people would do it for religious reasons. So how do you actually eat while you practice intermittent fasting? Now, firstly, I must emphasize once again that I am not an expert whatsoever. I'm simply sharing knowledge and you can implement it in your way. But firstly, all I need to stress out is that you have to have a healthy eating plan in place. As much as you are not eating for 16 hours, what really matters is when you actually break that fast in the 8 hours. What is it that you are going to be consuming? Because that is the important part. So it is an advantage to actually have plant-based, organic fruits, vegetables, whole grain foods, and things that can be beneficial in the period of intermittent fasting. It is also important to limit sugar and alcohol in the period that you are doing the intermittent fasting. These could literally offset or break off the good that you're putting into your body, and all that good work will come to waste. Some people say that you can actually eat whatever you want to eat as long as you're eating in smaller windows of time, and that is not entirely true because it doesn't propel the change of behavior, which is fundamentally most people's problem. That's the problem that they have, is that they're focusing on probably the time that they have to be eating, and they're constantly looking at their watches, and they're not focusing on what it is that they ultimately need to be putting in their body. So the discipline to actually know what you have to be putting in your body, to listen to your body, and it is not actually about not eating for 16 hours and eating for 8 hours. It is essentially about what do you put into your body, listening to your body, and actually knowing the times that you actually have to be putting the good stuff into your body. What to drink during intermittent fasting. I cannot stress enough, guys, that it is very important to stay hydrated during this period. Very important to limit sugar, to limit sweeteners, to limit things that are not forming part of this period that you are actually doing the spring cleaning for your cells. They like to call it spring cleaning for the cells. So if you can hydrate as much as possible, then it will be beneficial for you. Even when you have to go and exercise, which I'll talk about shortly, you won't feel the hunger as much. But if you hydrated, then it will make all the difference. Always stay hydrated. Make it a point that you stay hydrated. Make it a priority that you stay hydrated during 16/8 intermittent fasting. When to exercise during intermittent fasting. Now, I highly recommend that when you practice intermittent fasting, that is the best time for you actually to exercise. It's the best time for you to go out there for a run. I am currently doing 16/8, as I said, from 11 to 7 every single day. So I make sure that on the days that I exercise, I make sure that the day before that I have had the sufficient nutrients for my body. I'm taking enough water, and then tomorrow 5 a.m. I'm up and I'm out there running, and I don't really feel hungry as I'm doing it. And I'm sure people that have actually done intermittent fasting can actually vouch for this, that you don't actually feel hungry. And if I can do it, then you can surely do it as well. So make sure that you are hydrated, and you actually make sure that there is no food in your stomach when you go for this exercise. And trust me, it's a good feeling for me, and I know it will be a good feeling for you.